Hello and good afternoon, Xbox Nation. Welcome to this week's new episode of X Vlog Live. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL. And folks, we have a couple of really great topics to keep you busy for the next 75, 80 minutes. But we're kind of pulling a fugazi here. Thanks to somebody in the chat. You see him here almost all the time. The Hooded Canuck. That's right, brother. I'm talking to you. It was what you said in the chat that has sparked a great conversation that we're about to have. But of course, before we start those conversations, I gotta welcome in my co-host with the co-most, the one that goes out of his way. I guess you can call him I don't want to use the word, he's a pea smasher, a pony smasher, if you will. That's what he does. This is why people love him and his wife, because they get out there and they have fun with the console war. Now, granted, that's not my bag, but that doesn't make him a bad co-host. As a matter of fact, we're kind of like yin and yang, oil and water. We can work together, but we don't follow the same path. I'm more of a Jedi that just wants peace. He's more of a Jedi that just punch you in the face. It's okay. We can coexist. What's going on, C Money? How you feeling, brother?
Oh, feeling great. Did a little pony smashing up this morning. Feeling good about it. Listen, word of advice. If you come at my queen, you're going to get the dagger real quick.
Right? Yeah, so I would say that's like me. Like I have a thin black line that runs through me. And normally right. I'm like, I consider myself, folks, if you're familiar, again, I'm an old man, so you got to understand where the book I'm about to make mention of is, you don't probably even know what it is. Ferdinand the Bull. It's a Spanish story. It's a storybook for kids. It was read to me numerous times when I was small, because obviously, you know, my heritage is from Spain. That's where my family is from. And all Ferdinand wanted to do is stay under his shady tree and smell his flowers. He wanted peace, and they wanted him to be. They wanted him. The luchadors wanted to fight him. I said luchadors like it's wrestling. The bullfighters wanted to fight him, and he didn't want to fight. And that's like me. I don't want to fight with anybody. But one day, a bee stung him in the ass, and he tore up the entire town. And everyone was afraid of him after that. Like, oh crap, we can't mess with Ferdinand. See, that's me. Like, I have this thin line that runs through me, and it all leads to Mrs. Boomstick. The minute you say something that's disrespectful, you get the horns, and you're like, I could not believe that came out of his mouth. And that's how, of course, C Money is, and as he should be.
Facts.
No, listen, brother. You know, people come for the queen. You know, they're off with the head. That's what happens.
I look at them talk shit all the time to me, and it's fine. There's no problem. Listen, I'm in the game. You know what I'm saying? I got no problem with it. Talk shit, no problem.
Say what you want to me.
Yeah. And we have a whole different world of an issue for you, my friend.
Indeed, we are. Indeed, you do. But you know what, look, dude, it's great that, you know, again, first week of podcasting for a lot of our brothers and sisters. Yeah, right. And already Xbox seems to be starting in the green, where Sony seems to be, you know, kind of continuing the trend of being in the red. Again, one of the stories that we're not covering today, we're going to cover it tomorrow because we have a monster panel, and I kind of want to get everyone's, you know, hot take on this. It was confirmed today that the Horizon Zero Dawn multiplayer, or whatever they're going to call it, is skipping PlayStation 5 and is only going to be available on PC and mobile. Look, I'm not going to play it anyway, but I got to be honest with you. I don't know if that's a great strategy. You're skipping your own platform. To me, it doesn't make any sense, but we're going to cover that in some real depth tomorrow. What we are going to cover here today, obviously, I had advertised that we were going to be joined by Ecstasies. Now, you know him. He's a Spanish YouTuber. He's very well connected. Unfortunately, the time zones, it's very late where he is, and he's with family because they're celebrating a holiday that we don't celebrate here in this country. So, of course, I'm not going to ask him to go pull away from his family. He has reached out to me. He left me a voice message. We are talking. He promises me that he's going to come back on, and hopefully the next time he's joining us, he'll have some quote unquote leak or leaks to to drop on us regarding Xbox, because like I said, he is incredibly connected. But for the next 75, 80-ish minutes, we're going to entertain you, and we have a lot to get into. Obviously, yesterday, C Money, the big story, right? The date for the developer direct has leaked. It is January 25th. We have some indications from Ecstasies, who actually broke the story, that Double Fine's game is the one that is supposed to be the quote-unquote shadow drop, like Hi-Fi Rush was in 2023. And again, this is very different, right? It's claymation based. It has a very Double Fine art style. It's called KILN. Yeah, KILN is what it's called. And that means that from what people told me in the chat, KILN means it's where you bake pottery. And this game is in fact it is a brawler. It's a brawler that you create your characters, and it is an claymation kind of animation, which I think is freaking cool. And it's Double Fine. They don't miss. Tim Schafer is a genius, and so are the teams that work with him. And I think that this is going to be one of those games that comes out, it impresses, and what's great about it is that, see Money, it doesn't have to be a triple A $300 million game to be successful. And the difference between what Sony is doing and what Microsoft is doing is Microsoft, and specifically Xbox Game Studios, is they are loading up Xbox Game Pass with games for everyone, not just over the shoulder dude bro games. It's not just shooters, it's not racers only, it's not dude bro only, it's something for everyone, and that's what makes it special.
Absolutely.
But before we get there, C Money, I got to get your opinion on this, and I know it's going to be a stout one, no doubt about that. You usually drop pointed opinions, and again, I'm going right back to the Hooded Canuck, because what we're starting to see on the socials is there was a tremendous outcry from PlayStation gamers about Spider-Man completely being snubbed at the Game Awards, right? That was the start of it. And then, of course, I think where we get into some really murky waters here, PlayStation announces that they are giving their own game of the year. So, what would that invoke? Well, that invoked a lot of people to be like, wait a second. If Xbox would have did some crazy stuff like that, they would have been flogged, right? There's no doubt about it. There would have been 100%. Media post upon media post upon media post about how stupid that actually is. So what does Sony do?
Everything.
Right. What do? They block comments because people were saying, and listen, again, if you're going to curse at them, we're not even going to have this conversation. It's a game. Let's not get ridiculous. But they stopped comments. They should have just pulled the tweet, in my opinion. They should have just deleted the tweet, because ultimately it's just dumb. It really is. But they didn't. So why am I going down this path, you ask? Is this to dump on PlayStation? No, it is not. It is now to turn our attention, C Money, to Starfield, which Starfield has been making the rounds in certain circles that are not Game Awards, are starting to win some things. And obviously, we have to talk about Steam. Now, Steam has it listed as a platinum title. It is in the top 5 most revenue made for a game. And why that's important, C Money, is simply because, well, you can get it for free in Xbox Game Pass. And I say free, it's not really free. You're paying $17, fine, whatever. But you don't have to buy the game for $76.43. You can play it based on the service you pay for, either through Game Pass PC or Xbox Game Pass for console. So the fact that it's made that much money on Steam is crazy. But this is where we start to get into what we're going to talk about, C Money, and I can't wait to get your point on this.
Yeah, man.
Starfield was just awarded by Steam the most innovation award for a game. And what we're starting to see through the socials is that somehow the fight has been fixed. Somehow or another, this can't be, because someone
Mhm.
that played the game for 800 hours tells you that I can't recommend this, or someone that played it for 653 hours says no, this game is trash. Let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, kudos to Steam putting it out there and
Yep.
then letting the fans vote and seeing that, oh wow, when the game is not rigged, actually, you do get to see that Starfield can get some awards, right? Because it
Yes.
was a phenomenal game. It is a phenomenal game, and we're going to talk about something that was found yet again in this game. I mean,
Yeah, it's not a
Bethesda.
spoiler. It's honestly not, because it's out on the socials, and I want you to run with that, because it is. It really does put what, to your point, it puts it in such a different category from everything that they have done before, and
Yes.
continues to say that even after 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 hours, you're finding new things. What game could claim that, C Money?
Dude, the closest I could bring up is like a Red Dead Redemption 2 that has things hidden so deep into their world that you could stumble across different things that you never thought you would just because you're playing longer. Like that's literally the level we're talking about, and we're talking about Rockstar, right?
Yeah.
So let's get that straight, right? Outside of that situation, no, Bethesda is broke the mold here. Like they did what, again, something that Rockstar would do was they spent all that time and energy on things that literally 95% of the people who play Starfield will never see, right? But they did that because they're showing the people who do stick around, the people who do want to make this the game that they're going to play for the next 10 years, like they have so much content that they can do that. Now, I understand that when you compare it to like the PlayStation side of things, they don't understand that situation, right? Because all they do is get told these stories, right? They're linear, point A to point B stories, and it's done. And that's fine, that those games have a place, but just because you're used to having that style of game doesn't make Starfield a lesser game. If anything, Starfield being what it is and how it is shows you that it 100% deserves all the acclaim that it has gotten. And very easily, you can see that all of the naysayers and all the bullshitters out there that are talking about the game as if it's somehow lesser than or doesn't deserve the accolades that it has received from all of the reviews that it got that were nines and tens. I mean, that image is crazy when you look at, they put out 56 reviews, all nines and tens, with almost half of them being tens.
Yeah.
But somehow the media, the pony media, right, your IGNs and of the world,
Your
want to try to
GameSpots, your
games
PC
exactly.
mags. Yes.
They sit there, Metro, whatever. They try to sit there and try to make it where you feel foolish to think that this is a good game. But again, Steam putting it out there on Steam on their own platform, all these media outlets were running with the fact that, oh, now it's mostly negative reviews. Like, no, it got review bombed again, where 7,000 people decided to go ahead and join each other on Discord and say, all right, you ready? You ready to write your bad review? Yes. You ready to write your go? And then they all go and they review on
Almost
it,
like a
right?
rave. That's actually, I mean, just for a second, let me just interrupt you, because you're onto something. I think that's a sickness.
It
Okay, because
is.
I don't remember the last time a troop of Xbox gamers all got together on Discord to then run to give something a bad review. That what? The fact that that actually happens, that's a sickness. That's cult mentality. And
Facts.
anyone that was involved in this, listen, let me tell you something. As former law enforcement, I'm going to tell you this right now, and I'm being straight up serious. Go sit on a couch, man, and speak to somebody, because that cultism behavior is sick. It's a
Facts.
video game. The fact that you took these people took all this time to gather around to go run to review bomb a game. That is some sort of craziness. I'm sorry. And I'm not even being facetious. I'm being straight up. Go sit down and talk to somebody because you need help. Sorry.
Facts. And that's the truth. And that's what it shows you, because again, they want to angle it this way as if somehow those reviews from people who played 800 hours but hated playing it, wow, some clown stuff, man. They're showing you that those little bit of reviews, even though as much as they did, it what did manage to bring it down to mixed review from mostly positive reviews, which is what it was before this situation happened. What it showed you is that when those other 100,000 people who actually played the game or purchased the game on there or whatever it is, when they got a chance to do their vote was Starfield wins, right? Starfield is the most innovative game that released last year. Like, that's where it shows you the truth, right? Not the small minority who decided to get together and form this band of bandits who are gonna go out there. Oh, I'm gonna take them down. Like, no, man, you ain't taking nobody down. You ain't taking nobody down. Actually, all you're doing is keeping the game even more relevant than it already is without the bullshit, right? Like, every time I see Starfield again, and then I look at what I'm playing, it just brings me back to how much fun I had with Starfield and how I'm not having as much fun playing these other games that I'm just trying to get through, playing Alan Wake 2 and playing Avatar, right? Like, I'm playing them, but it's
I
like
did not like Avatar at all. As a matter of fact, I stopped
Starfield is
playing it
just
after after 3 hours. I was like, it's just not for me.
yeah, I mean, listen, it's fine. You know, I tend to be okay with like Ubisoft style games. It's okay, it's good. I'm not like crazy about it, but it's like serviceable. Like, I'll play it. It's there. I have the Uplay Plus, Uplay thing, and I was like, all right, I'll play it. But it's like it's just not. It's not as fun as Starfield. Alan Wake 2 is not as fun as Starfield. But I said, "You know what? I finished the game. Let me go and play these other things." And it's like, now all I do is see it more and more, and it's making people post more and more about Starfield and post all their dope ass pictures and all these dope stories. And this new gen plus, we constantly see all these amazing things that come from it. Different worlds are being discovered all the time. Oh my god, it's amazing. Like, I cannot wait for Shattered. Was it
Shattered
Shattered
Space.
Space?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Shattered
that's it.
Space.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, I
funny.
cannot wait.
Dude,
Cannot wait.
and that's coming in. That's coming this year, dude. Like, we don't
Yeah, I
know
think first
when.
half.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
first half
first
for
half, man.
sure. I
I'm
mean,
ready for it,
look,
man.
it's funny, folks. You know what sparked this conversation besides the Hooded Canuck in the chat that wanted us to have this conversation, and I like having the community. Hey, boom, could you? I'm over here. You want to have this conversation? I love that. That's interaction. That's what we're supposed to do as content creators. Besides, just read your name or when you read the super chat. That's not what it's about. And that's not what C Money does, and that's not what we do. Right? We
Thanks.
interact, and that's the important, and that's the fun of it. That's really the fun of it. But what really sparked this conversation is a post from this morning. Now, it is not a spoiler. It is not one of the endings. It has nothing to do with the constellation itself. And again, if you are looking, you will find some crazy things that you're like, what just happened? But somebody, and I don't have, I actually, you know what? Let me give credit where credit is due. I see money. I'm pretty sure that okay, yeah, here it is. I got it in front of me. Now
Donnie.
okay, so here's the thing. This was posted. I don't know why it came into my feed today. It's weird. The X user or the Twitter user, it's Donnie, and
Oh,
this
wow,
was a
yeah.
post from October 22nd, 2023. So again, I don't know how I missed this. I don't know how
It came
somebody
in my feed too, so somebody must have just stumbled across it
yeah, well,
and shared it
this is
out.
interesting. Okay. Now, this said person found a planet of clones, and not clones of like himself, clones of actual people. I'm looking at the pictures right now. He's standing in front of someone Franklin D. Roosevelt. You know who he was? Yeah, you should. Amelia Earhart is another. White Earp is one of the characters with a cowboy hat, by the way. And the fourth one is Genghis Khan. This is in Starfield, right? This is in the game. I don't even know what to say other than the fact that this is why you play this game, because at every turn someone finds something that makes you go, I can't believe this. And if there's one person you should be following who has been the chef's kiss, if you will, of finding stuff in Starfield, it's Nico. Nico. That dude is he's got to be the only game he's playing. Honestly, it really is. All I can say is this: if you're a Sony fan, first of all, we say welcome. Everyone's welcome here. I don't care what fan you are. Be respectful in the chat. I know there's some chatter going on. There's one particular guy talking about, I guess you Xbox are waiting. I'm here to tell you, I don't know what you're referring to about waiting. We have a roadmap that goes 15 years ahead. We know that because it's out there.
We just had 10 games released this year.
Yeah, it's talking about. I don't understand. If you're a Sony fan and I'm a Sony fan, we're still waiting. We have no idea what's happening outside of the two Samurai games, which, by the way, I'm buying. Those look amazing. I'm buying them, but that's really about it. They have no first party path for 2024, maybe even 2025. I'm just saying. But yeah, it's Nico Bellic in Starfield. Yeah, it's Day Rezi. Thank you for the correction, brother. Super appreciate that. Look, at the end of the day, play what you want. No one's gonna fault you for it. If you're a PlayStation fan, you're welcome here. Obviously, if you think PlayStation is better, good on you. Good. That's not how I think, and that's not how C Money thinks. But you know what? That's okay. I do
be a fan, man. Nothing wrong with being a PlayStation fan.
No,
just don't be one of those dudes who goes into an Xbox show to talk crap about Xbox because you don't like it. If you don't like it, then leave the show. Don't sit there and talk trash to obviously a group of people who prefer Xbox. That's it. Just come hang out. You want to know about Xbox too? Good on you. Enjoy.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I have listen, again, like what you like. Look, I do want to bring up a particular point for in the next topic, and this is a big deal for me. This may not be a big deal for you, but it's definitely a big deal for me. Yesterday, C Money, Iron Galaxy Studios, who has just come back to Killer Instinct at the end of last year, right, had an amazing post, and we knew this thanks to Maximilian Dude, who is that guy has millions of followers. He has a 1 million+ sub account on YouTube. Really good dude. He doesn't know who I am, which is great, which is fine. Maybe we get him on the show one day when Killer Instinct comes out. He was the one that actually started the hashtag Bring Back KI. Right, that was his movement. That's what he did a couple of years ago.
I remember that.
And it was a big deal. It was a really big deal. Killer Instinct, C Money, is a fighting game that I think, and please, by all means, folks, this is just my personal opinion, can go toe to toe or shoulder to shoulder or fist and foot with Street Fighter, with Tekken, with Soul Calibur, with Guilty Gear, with Blaze Blue, whatever your favorite fighting game is. It has outstanding characters. It has a legacy that goes all the way back to the Super Nintendo days. If you can remember, that was actually put on cartridge. How that happened, I have no idea. But what happened yesterday with Iron Galaxy, who was responsible for seasons 2 and 3 before they were tasked to make a game for another developer, and then tried to make their own free-to-play game. And unfortunately for the team, it just didn't take off, which is a lot of the free-to-play stuff. It just doesn't hit. Well, they're back. and they're back, and they've already dedicated that the next 10 years is going to be dedicated, or they're going to be involved in Killer Instinct. Now, they haven't said anything yet. Neither has Microsoft. I am, and again, this is just my opinion, folks. I think Microsoft has purchased this studio. They just haven't announced it yet because no one says they're going to work on Killer Instinct for the next decade and not be owned by Microsoft. Because the problem with not owning the studio is why there was not a Killer Instinct season 4 or an official Killer Instinct season 2. And Phil Spencer and Matt Booty talked about this publicly about a year and a half ago when people saying, hey, guys, where's Killer Instinct? And they know we want it back. Well, yesterday, to start off the new year, we got some new information. Finally, we have a destination for Killer Instinct 2. And they had this to say, new year, same driven focus on recruiting the best. Visit our website to read about our opportunities, locations, benefits, and employee testimonials. And it has a link for the IGS career page for IronGalaxyStudios.com. And this is what it says right underneath. Iron Galaxy is hiring, and they're looking for, in the art department, lead technical artist and lead animation artist. And in the engineering department, folks, they are looking for lead software engineer, rendering engineer, senior rendering engineer, senior software engineer, and software engineer. And it says this in parentheses, or a box actually, offering hybrid positions. And they have spots available in Austin, Chicago, Nashville, and Orlando. This is, C-Money, a big deal. One of which is giving me goosebumps because I am a diehard Killer Instinct fan. I played it to the cartridge, did not work on the N64. Obviously, that was Killer Instinct Gold, if you remember. I mean, I don't even know how they got these games to work, but when I'm telling you, man, in 2013, when that was announced at what people considered, the worst, E3 for Xbox, I jumped and nearly hit my head on the ceiling because all they did was open up with the music. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Are you kidding me? And well, here we are. Killer Instinct 2 is on the way. And whether that takes a year, 2 years, or 3 years, I don't care. The one thing I am very excited about, C-Money, is the fact that it's a game that is being worked on right now. But when you consider Microsoft, or specifically Xbox, what they have in their arsenal of IP for characters that could make the way, you got to remember, right now, Mortal Kombat, as great as it is, and it is tip of the spear when it comes to fighters, and I don't know how I even left them off the list that I did earlier. Their guest characters are chef's kiss, right? And Microsoft and Xbox, well, they have a ridiculous amount of characters. And we know that they're going to have guest character packs. We know that they're going to have guest characters to launch Killer Instinct 2. 2 questions for you, C-Money, and I want you to go crazy. One, are you excited about Killer Instinct actually still existing? And what characters do you want in this new fighter?
So I'm not like a humongous fighter. Like I'll play Mortal Kombat. I'll play them when they come out, and then I fall off pretty quick. Like I get excited to beat some ass for a little while, and then I keep it moving. So like I played Mortal Kombat 1 for a little bit. I'm looking forward. I didn't play Street Fighter 6 yet, even though I want to, just because I want to get the turtles and play with them. And then Tekken 8, I'm looking forward to playing just because it looks so good.
I bought it. I didn't even play it, dude. I'm a fraud. I really am. I love Street Fighter, dude. I bought it. I bought the highest digital edition, and God. It's just there are too many games, and it's just not enough time in a day, bro.
That's the thing for me. That's why I tend to not go. Like I'm more likely to play something like a Mortal Kombat 1 that has like a real story mode that you can kind of progress to and get a story from. Like I can't just sit there and doodles in there and say it because I always win. That's why I don't like them. She doesn't fuck around, no, for sure. But yeah, I'm again, I'm for Killer Instinct. I think it's important for Xbox to have their own fighter. And Killer Instinct has a huge legacy. You ask, can it go, you think it goes toe to toe with all the other fighters? Absolutely it does. They all of these fighters, they have their communities, and as crazy as it is, there's not like too much like intermingling between the communities, right? Like once they find like the fighter that they really like if they're gonna go hardcore into it, they don't really fight, they don't play all the fighters typically. They stick to the few that they really, really like and want to get good at. Because it does take skill to like get really good at these things. So I do 100% think it's important that they have it. I'm excited that they are doing it. It makes me excited that Iron Galaxy is back. And like you said, I do believe in my mind after the last time they had Iron Galaxy work on the game and then they got either taken away or caught up in another project or whatever it was, I think for them, they're like, listen, if we're going to come out here and announce that we're making, you know, Killer Instinct for the next 10 years, they either own them already or they have like this super contract that says if you guys even think about taking another job or doing getting bought, we have first right to squash everything and purchase you.
Unless they've
So
already done it.
that's the thing. It's
And
either bought already or they have some crazy contract to do it.
well, tell me what you think about this, C-Money. One of the issues with Killer Instinct not getting a proper sequel or at least a follow-up season to 2 and 3, which were phenomenal, right? Was the
Mhm.
fact that there wasn't a in-house developer to take care of business. So, like many times before, the door was closed in Xbox's face, right? To make a game.
Yep.
And you know, Phil Spencer, if you ever like watch him in these interviews, he would rather have, and I don't blame him for this. He would rather have a IP that they own made by a studio that they own, so this could not happen, right? I mean, they could not get Iron Galaxy to continue because they were hired by someone else. They weren't owned. I think the fact that they came back to Killer Instinct, there is no doubt in my mind that ownership, again, specifically because it's a smaller studio, right? And they put all of their eggs in one basket, as most of these studios do, to try and get into the free to play game. And unfortunately, the game that they had, it didn't hit. So all of
Yep.
those development dollars were spent and there were no recurring funds. So now what do? If you're the head of that studio, like, damn, I got to pay the insurance for these people. I don't want to lay anybody off. And that's when you hear the call, hey, this is Microsoft. We need Killer Instinct. Oh, we're back in. And I think in that conversation, almost immediately, you're a businessman. So I want you to put on your business hat and tell me, does it make sense for Iron Galaxy to be owned
100%.
by Microsoft?
100%. They have no outside of them being purchased by Microsoft. They have nothing that is bringing them money. So it's not like they're this big company that has like this big hit that if they don't ever get purchased, they're fine. Like Iron Galaxy is 100% like working paycheck to paycheck, like job from job. You know what I'm saying? So that's the life they lead right now. So if Microsoft knocks on the door and says, "Hey," especially if you're the owner of the company, says, "Hey, we're gonna give you this amount of money. We want you to make Killer Instinct for us and other shit." They don't have to pick up Iron Galaxy and say, "Hey, listen, you're exclusively gonna be working on Killer Instinct for the rest of your lives." They can pick them up and say, "Listen, we want to have a dedicated team that works on Killer Instinct." And then once that's up and running and you smash that, then we don't need as many people working on Killer Instinct because you guys will be able to run it, do updates and all that stuff. The rest of you can start making something else for us or whatever other game you guys want to work on. And so I 100% can see that be done. I mean, you don't have to look any further than looking at somebody like what's his name? Tim Schafer over at Double Fine, right? Like
Yeah.
they he said it, and literally all the other ones too. From In Exile, the guy said it. From Obsidian, the guy said it. It's like their whole life as the owners or the people who are in charge was not to sit there and have fun. Like one of the stories, I forget which one it was, where he would go into the office every day and see like the regular, like the people who are working there talking, having a good time, doing fun. And he's like, I can't even partake in that. I got to go figure out how we're going to get paid again so I can keep them in the house. Right. Like
I
that's
think that was the guy
stressful
from
shit.
Obsidian that actually said that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it might have
And
been
again,
him. Yep.
this is where you get into the conversation, see money. And again, as a business owner, you
Absolutely.
understand sometimes you got to rob Peter to pay Paul, and that's not a good life, especially if
No,
you're a good
no, it's not.
boss. Like if
Yep.
you are someone that cares about your people that are going to make games for you and your company, having to do that is what keeps you up at night. Everyone is sleeping,
Facts.
and that's because they don't know the behind the line stuff that you are, trying to do a heist in order to pay the bills so we don't get shut down. You understand what I'm saying? So that
Facts.
is a really big deal, and especially right now in game development. Look at what is happening to Sony. The next
Yes.
Spider-Man is looking to be upwards of $300 to $400 million, and they cannot keep that up because you know why? The
Nope.
PlayStation gamers aren't going out and buying these games in droves. They're not putting these games day and date on PC. They're not in a service. They have boxed themselves into a corner, and it's one revenue source. That's it. No microtransactions, because nobody really wants that anyway. But I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind buying a particular skin that I either can earn in game by playing the game or buy it. I don't care about microtransactions. I was one of the first people to buy horse armor. That shit doesn't
Yeah.
bother me at all. It is what it is. I'm
Yep.
I'm not a whale. I'm not spending $1,000 on DLC. I'm not going to do that. But if there's a particular skin that I want to buy, I'll buy it. I don't care about spending $5. It's
Yeah.
when it gets egregious and that $20 skins, you can SAD. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do that. But
Well,
Sony
even
has a problem.
yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like that's a huge thing. I mean, even if they do want to charge $20 for it, like we won't buy it, right? But
I just won't buy it.
somebody
Yeah.
will, right? And the people who buy them are knowing and understanding that they're choosing to do that. And if that's what they, listen, Sony, if as a PlayStation head, if Sony came to me right now and said, "Hey, listen, this 300, 400 million stuff, you guys, you hardcore people who buy everything we put out on the first party, you guys are not enough, right? There's not enough of you. The only reason we make it is to keep you guys singing our praises, but on the back end, we're dying, right? Because we can't afford to keep this up because that's
Mhm.
the reality of what's happening,
Whoa.
right? That's the reality of what's happening. They do it for us to keep promoting them, right? To keep their name out in circulation, but they can't afford it.
Wow.
They just can't. They don't have the dollars for it. So if they came to me and said, "Hey, listen, would you be okay? Every single player game we make, we have some type of uh DLC that you could buy or the microtransactions that you could buy." Dude, all I would say is go look at Ubisoft. They do it. They
Yeah.
have these gigantic worlds they give you tons of hours of gameplay with the purchase that you made. But you want a fancy skin that makes, when you sneak up and kill somebody, their body disappears and it makes the game a little easier because you don't have to hide bodies and you gotta pay for that? Sure. Why
Yeah.
not? I bought it.
Well, I mean, look, what you're talking about is I bought that, right? When you
Yeah,
do the secret stab, they
yeah,
disintegrate. I'm
it's dope.
sorry. I wanted a Pegasus because I'm a fan
Yeah,
of that mythology. So in Odyssey, because what's the name of the movie with the golden owl? God, why am I thinking it? So
golden
right on the tip of my
owl.
tongue. What is it?
You
It's
said a golden owl?
Yeah, it's a golden owl. If you folks know what I'm talking about. It's with the Pegasus. It's with the it'll come to me. Somebody in the chat's gonna come is gonna say it. But I bought the Pegasus because when you jumped off of something, even though you couldn't fly, the horse it didn't die. It kind of just it glided down,
Oh,
and it
that's
was
dope.
like there's like $15. But you know
That
what? That's my
that's
money.
there? I gotta go. I'm probably gonna go buy that. I didn't
Yeah,
even know.
it was
You're
an
the reason I bought
Odyssey.
the stabby
It
stab
was
guy who disintegrates, and now I'm gonna go buy that horse.
No, it was dope because what you jump off a mountain and it would just kind of just glide down. You wouldn't lose the horse, and that's what I'm talking
Oh,
about, right?
that's
Listen,
hell yeah, that's dope.
but it doesn't make the game. I'm not cheating, right? I'm not playing
It
multiplayer
doesn't
and
matter,
cheating.
single
I'm not
player.
paying to win, but
No, you
look,
do pick
at
what
the
you
end of the
enjoy.
day, see money. This is great news for anyone that has been asking for Killer Instinct to return. I'm one of those people.
Agreed.
I think when you look at what Xbox is doing because of the service that they have built, there needs to be games for everyone. Now, again, I say this all the time, not every game is for every gamer, and that is fine. You don't have to play every game. I think what you have to do, very similar to Netflix, is you need to feed this service. And they continue to do that. And a perfect example of that is what we talked about on Tuesday's show, is the fact that they put nearly $9,000 worth of games in a service that you pay $16.99 for. No one else is doing it, which is why they have literally flipped the industry on their head, right? Now, a couple of things I want to address. I got to get to the Super Chat, see money, and then we'll get your final point on this. I want to know what characters you want to see come.
Yes,
but I got to catch up on the Super Chats, and I also want to address somebody in the chat. Maximus, obviously, you're welcome here, brother. You're welcome here. I don't like the fact that, the consistent use of Xbox, because I don't like using Pony. I said it once, and it was in jest. It wasn't meant to be console worry or insulting. If you want to hang out, please refrain from doing that, because this is an Xbox show. I don't know why you're here if you don't like Xbox. If you're here to troll, Lethal Pop is going to get you. That's all I'm going to say. I don't even do it anymore because I don't have the time. I have 3 screens open. I only have 2 pairs of eyes. That's it. One on the glasses and one that I'm in real life. And he says Sony needs a boss like Boston team like Phil and his team, and then you bots are going to be crying. First of all, here let me just say this for you. Good luck with that, because Phil Spencer is an anomaly. Okay.
Facts.
Matt Booty is an anomaly. The Queen, President Mrs. Bond, Sarah, is an anomaly. They don't make them like Aaron Greenberg. The guy bleeds charity. He bleeds community. You don't have that on Sony, brother. And I'm here to tell you, good luck trying to find that, because I'm telling you right now, the next leader is not coming from this country, and it's not coming from the EU. It is going to be from Japan, because Sony is a very, very precise company. They have ways. They're very Nintendo like. They have their whether you like their ways or you don't, that's the way it's going to be. They tried something different with Jim Ryan, and it didn't work. So I understand that you, like I said, you want a leader like Phil. You should probably, I don't know, come over to Xbox, because you have one there. Sony is in a bit of a pickle. They're leaderless. They're directionless. They have no roadmap. And to start off 2024, just to kind of bring you into the loop, they were hit with an official 14 million euro bill from the France government for anti-competitive behavior with third-party controllers. So the same way you closed out 2023 is how you're starting 2024. Not good. Certainly not good.
Not good.
I'm just saying, let's put the cards on the table. Who is in a pickle and who is leading the charge? It's not Sony. Sony sold consoles. That's all they sold was consoles. Let's not get it twisted. They sold a lot of consoles. Good on them. Where are you folks buying the Spider-Man? Because they still haven't made a profit yet, and they may not make a profit for many years. I'm just saying. But let me catch up on the Super Chats. And first of all, let me go to this first, because it was the last one that popped in.
From Boom.
I mean, it is what it is. Dragon Wolf, who is a generous friend of the program, has recently become a channel member. Folks, this is crazy. He has gifted 20 Double Barrel Gaming memberships. Dude, that is just crazy. I don't even know what to say, but thank you. That is very generous. Obviously, not to be outdone, because he's done this every time I've done a show live this week. And he's done it quite a few times in big ways. Last year, Highlander 001 has gifted 5. Well, here, hold on a sec now. That's 5. That's 10. He has gifted 10 Double Barrel Gaming memberships. Dude, that is bonkers. And again, for fun, the reason why he said he's doing this is because his wife will not let him buy a tank. He said that the other day. So there is that. We have
Oh
here
my God.
Iman Burns, generous friend of the program. He has been a channel member for 19 months, and he says, "LFG boom, man, that is rough for ponies. Horizon multiplayer only on PC and mobile. How's your MetaQuest 3 going? How's it going? See money. What's that? What's the crack?" I'm gonna tell you this
Okay.
right now. I'm sitting here and I am dying because I just did an hour worth of classes on Metacraft. It's my second day this week, and it's amazing. The VR, I'm using Supernatural VR Fitness, and it is freaking phenomenal. My
Is
only
it?
critique is that when you pick rock, I'm a heavy metal guy. It's not really rock. I wish I could use my own music. I hope that there was an update that you can, because I have great playlists that are on YouTube, and their rock is not my rock. But some of the stuff is still good. It's poppy. It gets me into the groove and the rhythm. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I haven't played a lot of games. I will get to that, but I'm like really wanting to drop down in weight. I'm like 215 ish, 6 feet, not great, not bad. I want to get down to 200. And I'm like I said, I am dying here right now, but it's fine. I'll be okay. I'm
Nice.
just sore as H.
Is it included or is that a separate thing you have to
Okay,
buy?
so there are some that you can buy that you buy it and that's it. This one over here is a subscription. It's $100 for the
Supernatural.
year, which isn't bad because I've spent $100 worse. Or you can pay $9.99 a month for it. It's fine. They have, again, it's okay. But the trainers are dope. Leanne is the one I use. She is freaking amazing. And what I love about it is they're in your right ear as you're doing it, and they're
Oh,
correcting you when you miss, or when you're out of, that's how you get back into the center of the lane. It's freaking phenomenal. I absolutely love it. Um,
that's pretty dope.
See, Jay Slay, hey Jay Slay, Happy New Year to you, brother. He drops a $2 super chat and says the FTC is still angry at Xbox. You think ABK unravels? No, the
Not
FTC
a chance.
doesn't have a chance
Not a
in
chance.
in hell. They just don't. I mean,
0%.
it's
0%
yeah, and
chance.
that's a great point, Simon. It's like 0% because the entire world, right, the planet has passed this. The FTC is literally grasping at straws, and I think really what it comes down to ultimately, why it's sad, is because they are wasting millions of taxpayer dollars on a frivolous attempt to break up a company that is doing more for its consumers than anyone else is. It's just if they're supposed to be for the people, then why are you trying to take this away when we're getting more in our service? Isn't that what competition is? Isn't that breed competition? Why are you protecting Sony, the market leader, who is still in first place? Now, maybe that's not for much longer, but why are you protecting them? Sony is anti-competitive. They're getting sued left, right, and center. The FTC should be on their asses for sure, but they're not. It's just Lena Khan, unfortunately, has a classroom mentality that does not work in real world. She is a professor. She is not. She should have never been put in charge of the FTC, and it has nothing to do with her religion or the fact that she's a woman. She is unequipped when it comes to being a person that understands business. She wrote a thesis based on this to get the job. That does not work in real world practice. I'm sorry. In practicality, it's failing. And that's why she keeps failing and why she has to be removed from her position when this year ends. I'm sorry. She's just not a good leader. And you can just go and find all the people that have left the FTC because of her bully tactics, because that's ultimately what she is. It's her way or the highway. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. Let's see. Okay, I think it's Tanya. Is that Morris? Yeah, Tanya Morris. Welcome to the program. Drops a very generous $5 super chat and says WB Games should be the next get for Xbox. I like the idea because you get Rocksteady, you get all the DC characters. Obviously, you'd get
DC.
NetherRealm. There's a lot to like there, but it's messy and it's big, and I don't know after ABK could they swing that? You know what I'm saying? Like there's talk about them having to wait on getting Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal because they would be over 100 million. The 100 million threshold before you get regulators to get involved. And if they're going to break their balls for that, could you imagine WB it'd be a freaking nightmare. Asante, generous friend of the program, who's been a channel member for 20 months, says, Happy New Year. As Xbox gamers with Game Pass subs, 2024 is looking stacked. Not all the ecosystems have roadmaps, so reach out and help our friends. Hashtag Hug a Pony. the Hug a Pony program. I love it. It's great. We also have here Reggie Mobile 9, who's been a channel member of Holy Matrimony for 38 months. He says, salute to Boom and C Money. Great show, brothers. Thank you so much for the kind words and the generosity. Ryu Art drops a $2 super chat and says, sane people stop playing about 3 hours into a game, not 400 hours to hate it. Yeah, that's well said. Gamer by Choice drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, clone missions are awesome in Starfield. I haven't gotten that, which I feel sad. I'm going to be honest with you. Dreadful Sean, who's been a channel member for 11 months, C Money says, there is an interesting story beat with Quora and New Game Plus that can happen if certain things happen during the previous playthroughs. Really?
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah. Okay. And so we have El Monte dropping a very generous $2 super chat and says, but PlayStation fans ? Indeed. Royal Boyle 78, brother, what's going on? How you feeling? Happy New Year to you and yours. He drops a very generous $5 super chat. It says, good afternoon, Boom, C Money. Hope you're well. Love the show. Yeah. Always here for a good time and to show my support. Keep up the great work, brother. That is very kind of you to say, and we certainly appreciate you being here and checking out the show. And Cedric H, not to be outdone, C Money, he has gifted 5 Double Barrel Gaming memberships as well. Holy Matrimony. Thank you so much, Cedric H. Certainly appreciate that. We also have Decado. Obviously, Choo Choo MF. I can't say what Pong says. He says Choo Choo. You know what I'm saying. He drops a very
you thought I was gonna say it.
Yeah. He drops a very generous $5 super chat and says 2 things you don't negotiate with: terrorists and socialists. Well, there you go. And Lau Shimazaki, who is a friend of the program, drops a very generous $10 super chat and says, why are people on X blaming Microsoft for the death of physical games in some US stores? I thought Xbox was in last place. LOL. By the way, this is Japan. Yeah, it's money from Japan. Yeah, super appreciate that. We definitely appreciate the generosity. So let's get right to you, C Money. I have a couple of characters that 100% have to be in Killer Instinct 2. What are your? Do you have like a top 5, a top 3? What do you? What are you working with?
Here's the thing. In order to get me to be like, oh snap, I gotta go do this. Number 1 is easy, very simple. Give me Master Chief.
Yeah,
right. Put Master Chief in there. I'm ready to go. Okay, so Master Chief, number 1 for sure. Then you got the other staple of the Xbox side that I want to see in there. And now, I mean, you could argue that you could put a couple of them in because they're all different, but we need Gears, right? So you need Marcus.
Dude. What's your go-to character for Gears? What character for Gears?
I'm still old school, right? So Marcus would be my dude. But Coltrane right after that would be a
how about a zombie Dominic?
Oh, that would be heartbreaking. My man Dom. Zombie Dom. No, I can't believe they did it. That was jacked up. But yeah, I would say, like you could get a group. They're so different that you could actually put a few in there. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. Get a few gear guys in there. Or gals. You can put Kate in there. So she'll slap the body up real good. So Gears for sure. And then, I'm putting my eye on, let's get some of the newer blood in the game too, right? Let's throw in, Soap from Call of Duty. Right?
How about Ghost, bro?
Ghost too?
Ghost would be dope as a character, man.
Get them in there, right? Then you have we could go really new. I'm looking at that South of Midnight chick. She can go in there and slap some
Oh,
people up.
dude, now we're talking.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got the Fable chick. Let's get her in there. Like, I don't want there to be like these fake limitations put on this video games, right? We don't need a story reason that this happened. Put them in there. I want to see them go bust some ass in Killer Instinct. I think that'll be dope. I think that'd be dope. I think start fleshing out, let's get like somebody who represents the Starfield character or something like that, right? Let's get
100%.
Let's get them
Absolutely.
in there, man. Let's broaden it, right? Let's show the world with this fighter. This could be our Smash Brothers type
Yeah.
fighter, right? Where you just put in all the IP.
Or your Mortal Kombat. Or your Mortal Kombat.
Exactly. Well, the idea being that you have just doesn't have to have a reason, right? No rationale is needed. You can in was it Smash Brothers? You got, fighters with swords, you got dogs, you got
Mhm.
you got stick figure fighters. Like, doesn't matter. Let's just get them all in there on Killer Instinct. We can do the same thing, man. We have a lot of IP now that can be used, right? Give me a mutated Conquer. You know what I'm saying? Make them big, make them strong, and make them beat some ass, right? Like, I'm down for it, man.
I mean, it's you're not wrong. So I have a couple. One I think is like you for Master Chief. I think it's an automatic. Doom Guy has to be in there. Like, Doom Guy has to be in there.
Yes, Doom Guy too, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you want to go, exclusive to Bethesda, BJ Blazkowicz, he seems perfect for that, right? You can turn around and you can add the power armor guy. It doesn't have to be a named guy, just somebody in the power armor.
Yeah.
Why not? Right?
Facts.
I'm gonna take it crazy old school. What about getting Joanna Dark in there?
Hell yeah.
What with her gadgets? Come on. I mean, it just literally just reads that. But I mean, like I said, there are a ton of characters. And like I said, you can go Call of Duty. What about the kid, C-Money, from Prototype, bro?
Oh, was it Mercer?
Mercer, yes.
Yes.
I mean, hello. And again, this is a wish. I don't know if it happens. I hope it happens. I think it's going to happen. I think that Microsoft may be in a position where they buy the Tomb Raider IP. Lara Croft.
Come on,
Come
man.
on. Like, are we serious?
Facts.
Yeah. So
now you gotta wait. You gotta put them in. You gotta
now exactly. Now we have to wait to get that done. You get that deal done just because it's Lara Croft.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, think about what of a big deal.
100%.
But
it's funny. The other week, or I forget when we talked about it, but that rumor about Paramount that kind of came and went a little bit.
Yeah.
Microsoft buying them. Man, I forgot that Paramount owned Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, they do.
My God.
They sure do.
I would love them to go buy Paramount just to get that Ninja Turtle IP. I've been dying for that. They're making supposedly the last
Ronin game. Yes, I think that was from Embracer, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I want a better person making that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want that to be in house. I want the AAA blow out for it, man.
Yeah, it's one of okay. So if by some chance that they wind up owning Paramount, which I think is actually a smart play, because they're in everything, right? They're in mobile now. They're obviously in console. Their foothold in PC is starting to gain some serious ground with the ownership of Blizzard. But they don't have any presence in transmedia, right? Like, when it comes to, they have to go to outside sources. They had to go to an outside source for Paramount to do the Halo show, which without half the show was good. The other half, and him taking off the helmet and him being butt cheeks and everything. Not a fan of that. That's not my Master Chief.
Hey, I'm all for Master Chief's getting some ass.
I mean, listen, fine.
He gotta
fine,
get his.
He got to get his. I hear what you're saying, but that's not the kind of story that I want to be told. I'm just saying. Season 2 looks dope.
See Master Chief after dark. All right, we gotta see what goes down. In between the missions,
after he stops using the needler, he uses another needler. Pause right there. Hold on a sec. What am I doing? And this is a rated PG-13 show. Oh my goodness. Apologies, folks.
Oh my
about the
god.
needler joke. But look, all jokes aside, so far this has been a great show. We're gonna we just hit the 1 o'clock mark. Again, this show normally runs about 75 minutes, 80 minutes, give or take. See, money. I want to go. I want to go to the next topic.
Yes,
And
sir.
this is where we're gonna talk about Double Fine.
Mm.
I haven't had a chance to meet him in person. And of course, I'm talking about why is his name?
Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer. My God.
Yeah,
I
I
was
always confuse him with Tim Burton. I don't know why.
I
Maybe
mean,
it's the
listen, they're
hair that he
both
does
artists.
sometimes.
Tim Schafer is a veteran of the industry. He's been doing gaming probably
Yep,
30 plus years at least. I mean, he's an old guard, right? He's
absolutely.
the grim Fandango guy, right? Like that's when people
Yep.
remember him. I was in the audience with King David, Colt Eastwood, his wife, Tim Dog, and as Jez Corden actually was right behind us, as a matter of fact. Shout out to Jez. During E3 2019. It was my first E3 ever. Unfortunately, it winds up being my last E3 because it was going back in 2020 and then COVID. And then, well, now it doesn't even exist. But when he came out on stage and
Right.
they announced that they bought Double Fine, I was filled with such joy. Not because of, again, not all of those games are for me, right? Just the fact that Tim Schafer's studio in Double
Yes.
Fine falls into the category that you were talking about specifically, C Money, about robbing Peter to pay Paul, right?
Yep.
They had to figure a way. If you've watched the documentary, and I think you should, the trials and tribulations that went into making Psychonauts 2 is pretty unbelievable. Because if it wasn't for Microsoft owning them, that's an entirely different game. There are no
Facts.
boss fights. There's a lot of stuff that would have been left out. But when they got the funding from Microsoft, like you've seen with Ninja Theory and In
Yes.
Exile and Obsidian. Remember, there were some PlayStation, prominent members of the gaming community and the gaming journalistic, folks that said, I don't understand why they're buying Ninja Theory. I don't understand why they're buying Obsidian. These sales don't make sense because all of these studios could have been gone if Microsoft doesn't step in and buy them. Now, would that
Facts.
would have happened? I don't know, but they were certainly happy to be purchased by Microsoft. And look at what all of those studios are doing. So the fact that we are potentially getting a quote unquote shadow drop at the event on the 25th, I'm ecstatic about it because it's a new Tim Schafer game by Double Fine and they just don't miss. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I have not seen the that trailer. It's not a trailer. It's when they
It's from
show that
it's
it's
old.
from
It's from
2017,
2017. Yeah,
right? So
it's
that's the one thing that I heard people talk about it as if it doesn't look great or if it doesn't look like it's going to be good. Again, I haven't seen it myself, but even with that, like we just saw what happened with Psychonauts 2, which was going to be a completely different game had they not got purchased. 2017 predates their purchase by 2 years, right? So 2019 Xbox owns them. 2017, they're out there struggling, trying to make things up. So just because you saw KILN and saw it look one way, that does not mean that that is the game that we're going to be getting. That was a concept for that Amnesia Fortnite thing they do, right? So that was they do those things. They say they give you like 7 days to put a game together and see what if you could find something exciting or whatever. So the fact that they did that in such a short amount of time just to put something together, that has no real bearing on what we're gonna see come that shadow drop, right? Like there's no way to put those together. So with the backing of Microsoft, they can go ahead and do whatever their heart desires with that game. You know what I'm saying? They could put it at whatever scale that they're looking to do. Now, obviously, they're not making a $300 million game, right? Like we know that, obviously, right? But we don't need that stuff. Just like you talked
Right. It
about
doesn't
earlier.
have to be that, right?
Yeah, we have those games coming, right? That's not every game doesn't require to be that way because Xbox doesn't need every game to be a crazy big hit as far as sales. It's not what they need. They want games that are going to go in there that are interesting, that are intriguing, that are going to make people say, what's this? Let me check it out. And you might click that game and be like, this is trash for me. I don't like it and it's not my type of game. Or you
Yep.
could be like, yo, what a gem that I never would have ever
Yes.
purchased or ever played if it wasn't for Game Pass. That's what they live for. You know how many times Xbox players have said it, that same line. It's universal. I don't think there's one Game Pass subscriber who has never said to themselves, wow, I like this and I never would have played it had it not been for Game Pass. It's just what people say to be exposed to things. And it's the same thing that we say about like when you watch Netflix or any of these other streaming services, right? It's like, wow, I would have never watched that movie or that show had it not been part of my subscription service that I already pay for. Right. And this game is very look, you have tons of people making this game. And that's really the difference, right? With Xbox. Xbox has it's not just the amount of studios that they have that's exciting. Because if you have look at Embracer. Embracer has 100 studios, but they're not 100 top tier studios, right? They got a bunch of, mid studios that make games that you are hoping is going to be phenomenal, like a Time Splitters, and gets all the fans excited, but then they shut down the studio or cancel the
And
game.
then the game is canceled.
And then the game
Yes.
is canceled, and then we're looking at it like, "Oh my god, they're taking this game away from us," and they're like, "Nah, bro, you don't wanna see that game. It wasn't gonna be great," right? Like, that is the difference with Xbox. We have the amount of studio and the caliber of studios, right? We have that high quality studios that go ahead and make great games regardless of the level of game that is made. For instance, again, you take Obsidian. These people are amazing. You cannot like look at them sideways at all. They
Nope.
made Grounded, a game that was mocked.
12 people
Mocked.
made that game. PS, by the way.
Yeah, it was mocked. Now has how many players?
You know what?
Has
I think it's over. It's well over 10 million. But let me get the exact number.
Yeah. They have so many players over there, right? On this tiny game, but they have passion and they have skill, and it's a quality game. Even if it's not your bag, obviously it's a lot of other people's bag, right? So they have that game. Then they go and make Pentiment, right? Another small game, small team.
Yep.
Now, is that a game that the majority of the people out there are gonna be like, "Oh my god, you gotta play this game"? No, right? A lot of people are not gonna say that, but you know what? The people who do play it and who are into those type of games, that game got 10s, bro. Like, reviewers gave that game 10s. Like, people love that game because why? Is the caliber of the game, with the caliber of the studio. They have a phenomenal team who can make a great game. It's a pointed game. It's a game that's for a niche audience, but in that niche audience, it's a phenomenal game, right? And that's all you can ask for because Xbox caters to many different types of players.
As they
And
should, as what a good
absolutely.
publisher should do. See money. Hey,
And you
just
know
to
what?
add context to what you were talking about.
Go ahead.
I got the gamedeveloper.com has and this, mind you, this is a year old. Obsidian's Grounded has grown to 15 million players, and this was
Facts.
reported upon on December 9th of 2022. So just
Facts.
imagine how many players that they would have gotten now. I mean, are they over 20 million? They could
It
be.
could be
But
very
remember, this
possible.
is a game. This was a passion project by
Yep.
and any other publisher would have been like, nah, nix that. It's not gonna make any money. It's making
Right.
money, folks.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what this is about, right? They're showing you that they could take these games and with passion and with the right backing and the right amount of time, they could do anything. right? And they can make anything quality. Again, it might not be your particular bag, but this is the difference between PlayStation and Xbox, and that's why so many of us, we have PlayStations, okay? Yeah, I have
Hello, that's what
PlayStation right
real
over there.
gamers do. We game on other
Yeah,
platforms. That's
we
what a
have them.
gamer is.
There's
Right.
there's 4 PlayStation 5s in this house, right? We have different areas, we wanna play them. But the reason why they don't get turned on is because they have one type of game that they make. And I'm sorry, but when I put on God of War Ragnarok, sure, I can objectively say that, yeah, if you are a God of War, fiend, yeah, sure, there's more God of War here for you. Good, great. But I played God of War 2018. It was phenomenal. It went a little long in the tooth. Okay. Overstayed its welcome a bit. I got to a point where I was like, all right, I want this game to end. And I forced myself to go through, but I wanted to go through because I wanted to get to the end of that story.
Yep.
This game, I put it on for a little while, streamed it a couple times, played with my wife. We're playing it. It's done. Boring. I'm already past it. The story wasn't as good as the first one, and it just didn't captivate me. Right, so I move on. You got Spider-Man 2, another game. Put it on, play for a little while. Oh my god, it feels like I'm playing Spider-Man 1 again. It doesn't keep me going, right? But on Xbox, we have so many different flavors to choose from. You know what I'm saying? It's like on PlayStation side, it's either you like chocolate and that's it. If you don't like chocolate, you're screwed because they're gonna just keep giving you different versions of chocolate, right? But over on the Xbox side, I go in there and it's like Carvel ice cream place,
Are
man.
you
I have
saying you're
every
getting
flavor.
Neapolitan on one and bland chocolate on the other? Is that what you're suggesting, kind
That's
sir?
exactly what's happened. I got all the it's
31
like
flavors versus the one flavor. I
exactly.
think
I have
I
all
think the
the
31
choices.
flavors wins.
Every single time. Every single time. All right. And that's really the difference here. Like I'm not forced to be a certain type of player. I can be all the different types of players, right? If I want to
Yes.
get into my serious bag and play something serious and strong, it's there. If I want to just have a quick game of multiplayer, I can go do that. There's so many different types of games. I literally sometimes I just sit down and say, all right, I got like 20 minutes to go play something real quick. I don't
Mhm.
really want to get into a game that I'm actually playing like Alan Wake or what's it, Avatar, right? I don't want to do that right now. So let me go sit. So I just looked and I was like, what they add? Oh, what's this? 10 hearts or some shit like that. I just clicked it. And it's like, all right, this is never, I'm never gonna click on it again. But that right there at that moment, I sat there and I played it for like 20 minutes and I had a good time, figuring out the puzzle of how to get these little dudes to walk on one side and get to the other side.
Mhm.
I spent my time
But would you have ever
gaming.
played that
Never
game
in my life. I would have never touched
if
it.
it wasn't in Game Pass where you had an opportunity
Never.
to try something new? That's the
Never.
difference.
Never. And if we didn't have game like if I had that game and I didn't have a whole bunch of other games to play, then I would actually keep playing it because the game was good. I enjoyed it. All right. But it's just, I have other games that I'm trying to play right now. But those are the things I can choose that, right? I'm not stuck. I don't have to do something. It's okay. I want to do it now. The next time I have another 20 minutes, I'll just scroll through and pick a different game.
Yeah.
And chances are I'll just stream it because I don't have to worry about downloading anything. I could just cloud play it right there and I'm good to go. Check it out, play it, have some fun, or be like, well, good thing I didn't have to buy this because this was trash, right? You don't know. It's just a different world. And that's the difference, man. That's the difference between the people who are obsessed with PlayStation versus the people who are on the Xbox side, right? The people who favor Xbox tend to be open to all types of experiences, including PlayStation ones, where
Yep.
these narrow-minded, you know, listen, the people who are down-minded and stuck on that side and they get upset when the Xbox dudes are excited for their type of games, like that's the problem,
Yeah,
right?
I
That's
agree.
why that's the problem. Like yo, just enjoy your own crap. If you like to live in the world of chocolate only, then go enjoy your chocolate and sit there. Don't be mad at me because I'm walking around with different flavors in each hand because I can. All right. It's you know what I'm saying? Like relax.
Which, by the
So
way, if we're getting into flavors, the best chocolate chip ice cream in the history of life is 31, is Baskin and Robbins. Sorry if that FYI, that it's really good. No, I mean, see, money, great points across the board.
yeah,
And
man.
this is again, we got the three topics. I think that uh Double Fine's next game is going to be big. They don't miss. Tim Schafer doesn't miss. The team doesn't miss. They know their games are different. And that's why they have that studio. That's why Double Fine has been around as long as it has, because it does not follow the mold. It does not go, okay, we're going to make this game because that is what people are asking for. No, they make the game that they want to make. They put it out into the ether, and people, either you like it or you don't. You know something? Psychonauts, for a lot of people, were like, yeah, it's not my bag. And then they played it. A perfect example. Fuzzy Belvedere in the chat right now was like, yeah, I didn't think it was going to be my bag. And then he could not put it down. These things happen. And again, this is the difference between the path that Xbox has chosen versus the path that Sony has chosen. Sony has a path that we don't know what they're doing because they've canceled a lot of stuff, right? Stuff that you would have thought would have made them money, like The Last of Us Online. You would have been like, yeah, that's a money maker for sure. And they canceled it because they don't have the depth and the resources and the management and the personnel to put on a game like that. I mean, Naughty Dog's excuse in that letter was like, well, we had to pick either and or. I think that's ridiculous, because all you do is look at the Coalition, who has literally the same exact amount of people, and both Gears single player and multiplayer slap, and they've been doing it for years. I thought that the tip of the spear for Sony was Naughty Dog. What happened? So
Dude, they did it already.
Yeah, they did it already. They did it on Last of Us 1.
With the single player game. They made both. It's BS. And it's because PlayStation cannot afford it. That's the reason.
Yeah, it's
they
true.
cannot afford to scale up Naughty Dog. They can't say, all right, you guys made the base game. Now we're going to bring in some more people to maintain it after its release. No, they can't do it. They can't afford it. And that's the world that we live in. I will say, I saw somebody in there that said there's so many flavors of ice cream, and ponies choose to just be salty.
Wow. Well, I mean, they do eat sugar cubes and salt. That's what they do. Listen, let me catch these last 3 super chats. See money. We'll get you out of here. We're closing in. We're again right around the 80-minute mark that we normally do here. Michael Mooney, generous friend of the program, drops an outstanding £5 super chat and says, did the new PlayStation upcoming games trailer today make anyone want a PlayStation? I didn't even know there was one.
Was there a PlayStation upcoming games trailer today?
Yeah, I guess there was. Mike, thanks so much for the info. I'm going to go check that out now. Sir X-Man drops an additional $2 super chat and says, I want Spawn and Sonic in Killer Instinct. Perfect fit. That is dope. I like that idea. I'd love to see like a Spawn in there. Spawn would be literally perfect.
Spawn is the shit. How do we not have a
Spawn game? Yeah, we got.
You know what? Maybe Spawn game, bro.
Maybe we talk about that next week. I think we should, because Todd McFarlane is making a movie, obviously, which is not the crappy one that came out before. This is like, it's going to be like legit comic based. I cannot wait. I'd love to see Spawn come back in a big way and have his own, because there was a Spawn game. Oh my God. It was, I think, on the Dreamcast, if I remember correctly, which I still own, PS, by the way, which was dope. I don't know if there's been one after that, but I think the world needs a new Spawn game. Could you imagine a Spawn game like the Gotham Knights, not the Gotham Knights, like Arkham? That would be freaking crazy good.
That would be crazy.
And lastly, we have the Liz22 drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, wasn't Grounded built by 10 people? Happy New Year. Yeah, it was either 10 or 12. It was a very small team
for the game that
they're probably closing on 20 million players, which is bonkers. But see money. Let's sell your brand. Big things are happening for you, Doodle, and your kids on the channel this year on YouTube. We want to see you guys blow out that 11.6, get to 12, get to 13, get to 15, and we're going to help you get there, my brother. Thank you so much for being a part of this show each and every week. Sell it. Where can people help you and the team get on over to the next big goal, which is 12K? Tell everyone about the podcast that you put out there for people to enjoy with, of course, you, your missus, and your son and daughter. And where can people follow you on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, first of all, thank you so much. Boom. You know, I love being here. It's such a great time every time. So thank you for having me here.
Well, it's great to
Um,
have you, dude. Honestly, it's an honor to work with you every week. It really is.
yeah, man, I do appreciate it. It's really fun being here. And so as far as I'm concerned, you can see my my ramblings and chaos on Twitter at C Money Forever. It's right on the screen right there, so you can go ahead and follow me there. We're getting close to 800 followers over there, which is
Oh,
dope.
nice.
So we're growing over on Twitter, which is cool. But our channel is called On Point for Gamers. And it's an Xbox focused channel. We have 4 different shows that we do a week. So Sunday, we actually changed it to Sunday. We used to have a Monday show, but now we're changing it to Sunday in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. It's Morning Quest with Doodle and C Money. So Doodle is my wife. She's in the chat. And we just start the week off right, have a good time, talking about whatever's going on in gaming. Probably some pony slander for something stupid they did or said that week or day. So we have that. Then we have a very cool show. It's an interview show that we do every week. It's called Her, Him, and a Guest, where me and Doodle go ahead and interview a content creator or somebody in the community who's very interesting. And this past show we just did on Tuesday was phenomenal. We started 2024 off with Post Up, and it was a very, very, very good show, especially it went places that we didn't expect, that he didn't expect. And I would definitely, if you yourself or anybody that deals with any kind of, you know, uh, depression or anything like that, it's good to watch that show because you do see, how, people who have that or feel that way, how they deal with it, how, to recognize it. And it was a really, really good discussion. So I would definitely recommend go check it out. And that was the post up interview.
Nice.
Uh, so
Nice.
we did that. But this week we're actually gonna have our boy the new legal who's
Oh,
gonna be coming.
nice, dude. Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
around for many, many years on the
Yeah, man.
social.
So New Legal's gonna be here Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's gonna be a good time. So definitely come check that out. This particular Wednesday, I mean, on Wednesdays we have our gaming podcast, is On Point the Gaming Podcast, but this particular upcoming Wednesday, we're actually gonna be doing our community blowout podcast. The
Nice.
second the second Wednesday of every month we have a community podcast where we get 7 of our community members up on there with us, and we just rock out and have a great show. So definitely come check that out. That's 4 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. And then the last show that we do is a newer show actually that we just started right before the new year. And that show is called The Night Shift. Let's Talk Gaming. And that is a show that's on Friday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And it's our guest show. It's a show that it's me, Doodle, and we typically have 2 guests that come to join us. So this past week we had Retri and Psychonauts come and rock out with us. That was really dope. This upcoming Friday, we do have um, Dirt Griggity and the Black Viking who are going to be coming out to rock with us on Friday night. So definitely be there. But yeah, man, come rock with us. We appreciate you. Come checking us out. Sub to the channel. We're on our hunt to 12K, man. We're at 11.6. So we're just rocking and rolling, man. We keep it moving every day. We appreciate you all. And again, my man Boom, man, thank you so much for everything you've done, bro. We appreciate you.
No, no, thank you, brother. Certainly appreciate the support and obviously being a part of the show each and every week. We definitely appreciate it. And again,
Yeah,
it's great.
man.
It's great that you and I we have a great chemistry with the community. We have a great chemistry with each other, and we're here to entertain folks. And hopefully, you were entertained. But that's going to do it for today. A big thank you to all of the new channel members. Thanks to the generosity of so many in this community that continue to just bless Mrs. Boom and us with these gifts. Obviously, we don't do this for money, folks. We do this for the love of the community, for the love of gaming. The fact that I was able to transition from former police officer to doing this is dream come true for me. I work through the community as law enforcement. I get a chance to work with the community here, and that's why we will continue to deliver shows 5 days a week. We will not sell you hate or clickbait you to get you in here, and we will take the money that we get from super chats and channel memberships and put it right back into the channel, so you guys get guys and gals get quality camera lighting and everything else that goes into it. But we also give back in a big way. And again, this year we're giving away at the end of the year, like we just did for the 7th annual Christmas with Mr. and Mrs. Boomstick. We're going to match the 1,500 we gave away 2023. We also have a big one to start the year, which as soon as Stalker 2 gets its official release date, we're going to do a launch party here on the channel. And we're giving away 15 copies that are going to be paid for at full boat, meaning 76.43 times 15. And we are not funded by the studio that's making it. We're not getting these copies from Microsoft. This is literally coming out of our bank account to buy these copies to, of course, help the studio, who has been uprooted from the war that had them lose actual members of the team for the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia. That team has now been moved to Prague. I believe that is where they are. And we want to kind of, get a mom and pop kind of an organization like Double Barrel Gaming. We want to give to a mom and pop kind of a developer. So that's why we're giving away 15 copies that we're going to pay for at full boat. And we're not getting it. We don't have any corporate sponsors or anything like that. And speaking of sponsors, before you guys and gals get out of here, I got to do what I've been doing recently, C Money, and I want to just drop the commercial for the Volare Gaming pillow. Double Barrel Gaming has teamed up with them, and their pillow works. I know because I use one. King David of the Iron Lords gifted me one of their branded pillows, and I use it almost all the time I game because obviously I have a surgically repaired spine. And sometimes I hunch over because I'm a big dude. I'm 6 feet, right? I'm 6 feet, 215. Sometimes I find myself hunching, not with this gaming pillow. It's amazing. It keeps your posture straight, keeps your back straight, and it does really work. That is the Volare Gaming pillow. And of course, if you buy the pillow, do not forget to use the code DBG15 at checkout. But check out this commercial that was made by the incredible, talented Sean Labrie. Big thank you for taking 34 seconds to check that out. Of course, use the code DBG at checkout for your 15% off your entire order. And of course, I'm going to close out the show with something that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully, folks, one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, Craig, I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you next week on the newest episode of X Vlog Live.